Okay, YouTube lads, so you'll notice at the end of the last episode we ran out. I gave up. I think I rage quit after that fight with the undead. So on stream now, I played that fight again and we got through it. No one died, but I forgot to press record, so now I'm recording. We're back in the north and we are going to take a fight now to hunt down a barbarian war host. And then at some point while we're up north here, we need to pull some reinforcements into the barbarian sea of tents. We need to get one more unhold hide, which we can go hand in to fight the Kraken. We've just found ourselves a named sword, but none of our guys are sword specialists. I think I want to buy this though. Infamous Shield Breaker. 96 to 120. 4174. I think it's actually pretty standard. Let's take a look. 80. Wow, the base damage is incredible. Look at the base damage. That's like a 15% base damage increase. 40 and 150. 4174. Shield damage of 36. 36 and 16. So clearly the name has been randomly generated. You know what? Shopkeeper, I'll take it. Now, who is the lucky bugger? Who are we going to give it to? Probably one of the backline lads. 87, but only 23 defense. 86 and 38. I think it's going to be Banana Fint. 304, 289. Banana Fint. Use it well, my friend. Good luck head chopping. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful. Pumulus with 95 accuracy is great with the Bardiche, and 95 on Hawk as well. I'm almost tempted for these two 86 accuracy lads, swapping them out and giving them shields and one-handed axes, and they just break shields. And then the two 95 accuracy lads use great axes. But then again, the current setup we have is working fine. I don't see there's any real reason to change it. Right, let's go do some barbarian hunting. But for that, we might want to switch up the setup and take out a better archer. Training is done. Maybe we should have checked the armor first. No, only a light armor, we don't need it. Glorious Ogre Skin, 171 for 11, that's pretty average to be honest. I guess where we're going, spotted around Holmburn in the tundra to the northwest. Well, honestly, Logics, I kind of wanted to take a break before the DLC comes out. However, we are so close in this campaign to completing all of the late game stuff. Okay, Hugar the Bloodied, 7 to 10 Reavers, 7 to 10 Chosen, a drummer, a king, and a... You know what, we can do this. We might not even need any reinforcements for this. I think let's take Horst out, our best archer. And let's give him 2 sets of goblin poison for disabling big scaries. And then these lads are going to be doing a lot of single attacking plus indomitable ing. Do I want to use split or do I want to... So for me, this is something I keep going back and forth. Great Axe or Bardiche. I mean, if split does 82 to 104 and you hit both, yeah, then split is way better. Like 123 to 156. 132. Yeah, it's not even that much worse. Okay. But of course, Infamous Shield Breaker isn't really much of a shield breaker. Man, Alex Nesterov needs bags and belts. Your quick hands yet? He does not. I think he should start off by throwing nets maybe before even doing damage. In that case then I could make him carry a sticker. Quick dog check. Who's got a whiff? Give us a whiff. Chosen are scary indeed, but what I'm hoping happens in this fight, and they didn't change up the composition on us, killing the warhounds will be pretty quick. I hope my archer can take out the drummer, which will take care of a lot of their fatigue. Then it's pretty much just a case of using Indomitable for the first couple of rounds, which will then allow us to pick off the Reavers. And then by the time the dogs, the Reavers, and the drummer is dead, the morale of the Reavers, of the Chosen rather. Ooh! Legendary Cleaver! Legendary Cleaver! Legendary Cleaver! Right, that changes everything. It's a Legendary Cleaver. Man, this is such a pity now that we never got to fight the Ice Cave fight again. Because if I had the Ice Cave fight and this one, I could have had two legendary two-handed cleavers for both of my two-handed cleaver users. How amazing would that have been? If I attack, I can't Indom. He's got 35 defense, and he's going to be taking probably 2 swings. No, wait, Lavitsmere has 35 defense. But has 36. Okay, so this guy's probably going to attack Lavitsmere. Barbarian King is probably only one attack on Pulminus. It's fine. I think I want to disarm, but who do we disarm? This nerd. Can I take away that that little throwing weapon? Kind of doesn't mean anything at all. This means I can probably save having to use one Indom here. Our southern flank is going to collapse, so I think I move Elsteer. No, what we do is we rotate Exiled Pariah, but no, Exiled Pariah can't attack this turn. I would have wanted to have Exiled Pariah be free so he can move to the south to be in contact with that guy to disarm him. I need to have him continuously disarmed while I kill him, so he doesn't use his weapon, so he doesn't damage his weapon, so we don't fail to get the weapon. Long way of saying, don't move anyone. Okay, that's kind of great for us because now this legendary champion guy is within disarm range. Turn done. I can't get an angle on this drummer this turn. So instead we move one forward. We wait for Exiled Pariah to disarm and take a swing. Hope we destroy that armor. Then... No, we spend this action to move and to apply poison. So that next turn we can destroy this armor and poison him. Focus down probably the Barbarian King. I think that's a little concerning is the fact that the lads are going to be gassing quite quick, but I think that's fine. Bad miss. Bad miss. The F1, F2 slots is a mod called Quick Switch, which is super useful. If you use !BB mods, there will be a link to all the mods that I use. I think it's a link to a document that shows you where to download them and how to download them. No! What was that? 89%. Unlucky miss. So far going well, but these chosen we know are pretty scary. The southern flank doesn't look good. I need to remember that I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't put Sinrig on the edge of a flank. You should stay towards the center. Let's wait until that armor is more shredded. Evening ruffle. I love my cleaver users, they are so useful. So far everything is going as planned in this fight, but as ever when you are fighting Chosen, you are never more than one weapon attack away from disaster. This Chosen hits so hard, we're going to have to get Sinrig out of there quick. Ugh. 67% chance to hit, missed. Can I attack and then rotate? Okay, I think that's what we'll do. And now, honestly, Goliath just needs to recover and use Indom. He's in contact with two Chosen and a Reaver. That is terrifying. And the southern flank is going to get flooded. I need to get reinforcements down there, sharpish. Yes, the Barbarian King taken care of for the most part. Sorry, doggos, your sacrifice will be remembered. The fight doesn't go exactly as I was planning. I was expecting to have a turn or two to have a go at the Reavers before the Chosen got into contact, but it didn't quite work out that way. If I'm honest, I saw this legendary cleaver and then I kind of stopped having a brain. I just kind of freaked out because I wanted so bad. Little snake. Cool, buddy. God damn it. Two 81% misses, both missed. Double kill, clutch. Good kill, solid. This is Sinrig, who's hurt and bleeding. You fucker, get whipped to death. Acts in 4 turns, so we wait. Levitsmere keep running down to the south. I don't like that this legendary lad is going to be able to attack. Good hits. This is the scary one. Okay, just killed the dogs, which sucks. Luckily we had Indomitable up for those attacks. That was pretty important, honestly. No! The south. bunch of these lads can take this turn to get a bit of puff. It's pretty important for them. A big next turn. Except for Sinrig, he needs to get in contact here. He's got all the armor. Shot Goliath. Shot Elsteer. Yeah, you better run, you piece of shit. Release the remaining doggos. No! 80% chance. Ugh. We've missed a lot of high percentage attacks. Super frustrating. Oh, clutched. Oh, there it is. Legendary cleaver. Two-handed warhammer to the head. That is big damage. Ow! Jesus, Sinrig almost got killed. Didn't even notice. Look at that, by 2 hit points. Emergency. Alarm! Alarm! Shows you that Sinrig needs more hit points, but that was always his big weakness, being a disgruntled or disowned noble. He didn't have great hit points. Get him, lads. Nice. Right, fractured skull, so he's combat ineffective. He's probably gonna have like a 5% chance to hit. Go help Chomper. He's a brave dog. Why is whipping enemies to death so satisfying? Okay, it's over. Don't kill my dog. So, Warlord's Carver. This massive and exceptionally well-crafted warblade is covered with runes and decorations that are typical for the barbarian tribes of the north. So let's compare it to a Crypt Cleaver, which I'll have to do after the battle. It looks like it's got damage up, which I quite like. So 67 to 90, 65 to 80, so it's only +2 and +5, that's not great. 25 and 115, 35 and 110, so more of it ignores armor. And then 16 and -16. 16 and -18. Oh, it's barely any better at all. It's... It does look great though. And it'll make a lovely accompaniment to the obsidian dagger. I should have known better than to get excited about barbarian craftsmanship. Bloody savages. That's a casual 5,000 gold mission. Not even counting the profit we're going to make from selling items. I'd agree. Yeah, it's definitely better than a Crypt Cleaver. I was just kind of hoping for better base stats, you know. Because then the increased base stats would have made that ignore armor even better. So the legendary weapons we have, we don't have that many. We've got Sir Albrecht's Scruncher, which is just amazing at damaging shields. 43 damage against shields, that's incredible. And then we've got Infamous Shieldbreaker, which ironically doesn't do any more than a regular axe against shields, but it has nice high base damage. 96 to 120. Look at that. 144 to 180 damage. 54 damage to shields. Excellent. This one does 43 damage to shields. Wait, what? 54 damage to shields, even though it only says 36 there. Hey? There it says 36. Here it says 54. Here it says shield damage 43. There it says 43. That's weird. Retain more fatigue. Yeah, that is pretty important, especially because, so the fact is it weighs 2 more than a crypt cleaver, but you offset that with your first swing, and then every swing after your second one is saving you fatigue. So it builds up 10 fatigue per swing. This builds up 12 fatigue per swing. Yeah. First Vino, yeah. Sinrig, you've earned some time off, my friend. Where's Nobel? Get him in there. That's a good question, Logix. That I think you've cracked it. That's the difference. It does actually. Here we go. Split shield damage increased by 50%, whereas this one doesn't. But this Warhammer is still great because this does 43 shield damage, whereas a regular one does 26. It's nearly double the regular shield damage. Well spotted. Good us. I want to keep checking these Fletchers. What we actually need is a legendary bow or two, because we have a couple of very competent archers. This is a sexy longsword, but we don't have any sword specialists, so I don't worry about it too much. 31 and 98. 20 and 85. The armor ignore is great, but it's base damage though. 45 and 50, 45 and 50. It's got more, it's 100 hit points. This is 72. It's kind of nice. What can I afford to sell here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. 3 one-handed Warhammers. Yes, we need that. 2 one-handed. Yes, we need. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Script cleaver we can sell. Honestly, I don't need that polearm. Do I need these heavy throwing axes? Let's just check what everyone's carrying. Yeah, there we go. We've got some basic throwing axes here. And honestly, yeah, this is what the lad should be carrying. 2 quivers, 2 heavy throwing axes, plus 1 support item. So we need 1 more barbarian throwing axes there. And Nobel is all about the javelins. You know what? We should carry a stick with us, and my cleaver lads should switch out the daggers that they're carrying and start carrying wooden sticks. Reason being, if we can encounter any barbarians with a ranged weapon that I want, I need to bop them on the head. Okay, that'll be you then, Exiled Pariah. Villain, actually I uploaded, I forget which episode it is, it might be episode 49 or 50. I mixed up the numbering of the episodes, but go back and check 45 or 50. I think I named it Goblin City. We did finally win the Goblin City. If memory serves, the highlights package of how we managed to win the fight was that we finally got the fight on our own terms, in terms of the terrain. And it was just a long slog as expected, where my archers were able to do good work against the goblins. I wasn't able to get into range to take out the shaman, but the fact that it was a nighttime fight meant that the shaman had to cast night vision once a turn, which made all the difference, because if you recall in the previous fight, the big problem we had was the fact that in the daytime fight the shaman would cast vines plus flies, whereas at night it can only cast vines. It can't debuff your guys with flies, which is obviously devastating. Okay, so warriors, berserkers, a warlord. This is pretty straightforward. MK. Pathfinder and Resilient on almost everyone. Resilient is only 1 turn. Like, the thing is, I can kind of get, if you build a warband from the ground up for using Pathfinder, then I would recommend that you need to go, if you're going to go Pathfinder, don't half-ass it, go all the way. If you're going to go Pathfinder, go Adrenaline on everybody. And then your entire squad must just move forward, Adrenaline, come forward into contact. Hopefully the enemy will be close enough that you can, on turn 2, use Step Forward and Indomitable, but then your guys are in contact, but then they're exhausted, so turn 3 you have to use Recover. So only turn 4 in that build can you start attacking, which is why I don't like it. Maybe you can kind of split the tactics where you have the center of your formation be normal and you have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 guys on the flanks that are built with Adrenaline, Pathfinder, Lone Wolf, and they run around the sides and flank. But then those guys with Lone Wolf have such a short life expectancy. Well, it sounds like you've thought about it more than I did. Honestly, I just went in at night to nullify their ranged advantage, and my hedge knights were just so tough. We just slogged them down. I took quite an orcish approach. Just have bigger armor and have bigger weapons and just bash them. So I didn't pay attention to the turn order, so what we're going to do is we're going to move forward, we're going to indom. If I'd paid attention to the turn order, I could have moved forwarded, not indomed, and attacked on the next turn. I just want to reiterate to you guys my oft-repeated mantra, which is that there are no objectively wrong tactics. There's only tactics. Well, let me rephrase. What your tactics are is less important that you stick to what your tactics make you good at. So, yeah, just have a plan and stick to it. And make sure you play to your team's strengths. Well, yeah, I found that I did the Goblin City 4 times, and the first 3 attempts were all failures, and that was almost entirely down to the terrain. If you don't have the terrain in your favor, it's not going to be doable. I mean, you might be able to win, but you're going to pay such a price. It'll be a Pyrrhic victory at best. But the thing is that, and I have considered taking Pathfinder on a bunch of my lads, but the way I look at it is, if I have rotten terrain set up, I'd rather just leave and fight somewhere else where the terrain isn't as bad. Which goes to my point about knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are and fighting in terms of them. So, like, if I have a team that doesn't have Pathfinder like mine, if a fight spawns where the terrain doesn't favor me, I'll just leave and re-engage the fight. I mean, occasionally you don't have that luxury, but that's 1 in 100 fights. That's interesting. In melee only like orcs, have anyone tried to start with all ranged, expos on the unskilled, then throw them on the ground on the hand-to-hand engagement? So you can technically do that, and I've done something a little similar where my polearm guys. So MK is a good example. I'll show you after this fight. He's a light armor polearm user. This build doesn't work on the heavy armor guys because they wear such heavy helmets that ruins their vision. But on a light armored crossbow guy, well, 26 range skill is unfortunate, but if you have a guy with even around about 40... Well, actually, my Bannerman's a good example. I haven't put a single point into his range skill, and he still has quick hands and this. And the amount of times he's able to hit with that first crossbow shot is incredible. Like, it seems statistically, like, you wouldn't think that you would hit that often. And because you haven't sunk any skill points into ranged damage, you can kind of think of it as any damage you do is just a straight up bonus. But then replicating that to your front line, you would have to weigh up the usefulness of it. The way I look at it is, even if you're only taking a single attack with those guys, excuse me, before switching weapons, you are spending the fatigue to shoot the crossbow, maybe reload it, maybe shoot it a second time. So that's 2 plus 18 plus 2 is 22, minus 15 is 7. So then you have 7 less fatigue, and you most likely aren't going to have quick hands on a frontline guy, so maybe you're missing out. It just doesn't seem worth it. Shit, we have a morale problem up north. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why this throwing build is so amazing. In retrospect, I kind of wish I had leveled him as my usual hybrid archer, or maybe pure archer. Because as good as he is, from 2 tiles away, the thrower is only really that potent when he's throwing over 2 tiles. And if you're taking over 2 tiles, you're better off having a polearm user, because the polearm user, if you have a war scythe, can do more damage overall, and better armor damage if he has a regular pike. And my other archers, if you look at Horst, I wanted to try hybrid because I found that when I have a pure archer, they just do nothing against the heavily armored guys. But you can get around that by just manipulating the turn order, especially if, like me, you have a axe and warhammer heavy lineup. So if your archer doesn't have any low armor targets, just wait, let one of your polearm users or great axe users or great hammer users hit a target, then your archery only guy has a target. So now that I'm in the super late game, I find that I'm not using the throwing weapons on Horst at all. So this is a wasted perk point. That being said, for the first 400 days, he was way more useful having throwing weapon option. But then my Warhammer Hedge Knights came online and then made the throwing weapon usage of the hybrid archers kind of redundant. Oh, whoops, excuse me. Okay, so I think we have to focus on killing this Orc Warrior to free up Bog Host to switch out Banana Fint. And Nixus needs to run up there post haste to go redeem the morale. Polearm also can't run out of ammunition. That's true. But then again, overall, this playthrough has been pretty great. I experimented a lot, and I've learned a huge amount from this playthrough. Oh lord, that was a big scream. Good god. He broke 3 of our guys' morale. 4 of our guys, 5 of our guys' morale. Okay, fuck, fight over in a single scream. Ugh. Fuck's sake. Maybe Pumlis can dodge away and not die. I've never had our morale fail that catastrophically against a warlord before. It's pretty unlucky, I suppose. What do we do here? We can maybe throw twice, 47. Dodge, dodge. That's Pumulus who's the big problem here. Here we go, Nixus, if you've ever made a... Oh! Clutch. Pumulus is still in huge trouble though. Headshot, lucky, good. They get fucked. I think Pumilis will be fine. So you see, this, what you saw there was why I like my hybrid build. I still reckon I would have been better off not taking throwing mastery and just manipulating the turns. But as you can see, even with just 1 point in throwing weapons and access to barbarian weapons, you can do such work. Pumilis, are you bleeding to death? Range. That's 40 bleeding. Okay, so next turn Nixus will have to... Actually, I probably should have moved. Shit. Let's hope those recovers put us ahead in the turn order. Unlucky. Shield. Our only weakness. Oof. Hate that sound. Fuck! Come on! No! Oh, you are having a laugh. Should have thought of that. I need to be able to rotate twice. There's no way. How do I need to get Pumilis out of contact. No, he's gonna bleed to death in the next turn. I need to be able to rotate. This whole not being able to treat guys who are in contact pisses me off to no end. It's so frustrating. And our Pumilis acts in 6 turns. Yeah, he's gonna bleed to death. Fucking hell. Fuck's sakes, now I gotta do this fight again. Okay, I got him out of contact, but he's still gonna bleed to death. Fuck! I'm gonna do the fight over again. God damn it! And now next is Nixus with the bandages, but it's too late to stop Pumilis from fucking bleeding out. Fucking god. Fucking... Fuck! We had bandages. It's just a question of getting the turn order right. What you saw there, we were ready to do it, but then that fucking piece of shit orc pushed forward and put himself into contact, which means I couldn't... Fuck it, I'm triggered. I'm fucking triggered. We're fucking done. We're done! We're done with the stream.